Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like something inside you is missing? Like the person staring back is only a fraction of who you were meant to be? What if I told you that in just 7 days, not months, not years, you could begin a transformation so profound that even your closest friends wouldn't recognize the person you've become? This isn't some fantasy. This isn't a temporary high. This is real change, and it begins now, with a decision that might just alter the course of your life forever. Because when the pain of staying the same finally outweighs the fear of change, that's when transformation begins. You don't need a perfect moment. You don't need more time. You just need 7 days of full, unwavering commitment. 7 days to rewrite the story of your life. If you're listening to this, it means you're ready. You're tired of the excuses. You're tired of holding back. And deep down, you know you're capable of more. So let's begin. Welcome to Day 1. Day 1 is not about gentle adjustments or soft transitions. It's about war. A war against the version of yourself that has kept you stuck, comfortable, hesitant, average. Before you can build, you must destroy. Today is the day you look at everything you've been and draw a hard line. Not with shame, not with regret, but with fierce clarity. Who have you allowed yourself to become? What behaviors have you tolerated? What excuses have become your lullabies at night? It's time to wake up. Today, you wage war on every bad habit, every toxic belief, every comfort zone that has become a prison cell. You don't tiptoe out of the old life. You burn it down and walk through the smoke. Eyes forward. Change requires sacrifice, not a polite donation of your effort, but a ruthless offering of who you were. Today is the day you stop pretending you're waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The truth is, no one becomes extraordinary by accident. Every powerful transformation starts with discomfort, and it begins with brutal self-awareness. You need to stare directly into your patterns, your procrastination, your distractions, your excuses, and call them what they are: anchors. They are not keeping you safe, they're keeping you small. And you weren't made for small. The mind resists change because it fears what it doesn't know. But what lies ahead is not danger, it's freedom. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your old story. The version of you that made those mistakes was necessary for who you needed to be back then. But now, you've outgrown it, and it's time to move on. So today, you separate yourself from your former identity. Not with empty promises, but with a physical, symbolic act. Write it all down: your doubts, your fears, your habits, your excuses, and destroy it. Burn it, tear it, bury it, but don't keep it, because you are done with it. This isn't just about journaling or setting intentions. This is a psychological reset. This is your rebirth. Your subconscious needs to see that you're serious. That you're not just hoping for change, you're declaring it. And from this moment on, everything must align with who you are becoming, not who you've been. That means your decisions, your routines, your environment, your relationships, all of it. There is no halfway. There is no turning back. You either become the highest version of yourself, or you stay where you are. But you can't do both. And every time doubt starts to whisper in your ear, every time your old habits come knocking, remind yourself, that version of you is gone. You buried them. You chose this new path. And even if it's hard, even if it's unfamiliar, it's worth it, because the greatest version of you is waiting on the other side of destruction. The path to greatness is paved with discomfort, discipline, and decisions. Hard ones, unpopular ones, but the right ones. You don't get a new life by wishing. You get it by earning. So take a hard, honest inventory of your life. Where are you leaking energy? What are you tolerating that no longer belongs in your future? Are you waking up late? Wasting time on distractions? Spending time with people who drain you? Write it all down. Face it, and eliminate it, ruthlessly. Delete the apps. Cut the noise. Clear the clutter. This is a detox of your mind, your space, your life, because your future cannot begin where your past still lives. And if you feel resistance, good. That means you're doing it right. The brain will fight you because it fears loss. But what you're letting go of was never meant to stay. It was only a stepping stone, a part of your journey. And now, you're ready for more, so let the discomfort come. Welcome it, lean into it, let it burn away everything that's not you. Because what's left will be something new, something unshakable, something unstoppable. This is day one. This is destruction. And in destruction, you find the foundation to rebuild. Not as who you were, but as who you were meant to be. So stand tall, burn the old story, and walk forward, because tomorrow, we begin again. Stronger, clearer, and fully committed to becoming unrecognizable. Your body is not just flesh and bone. It's a mirror that reflects the way you live, the way you think, the way you show up in this world. And today, on day 2, we stop making excuses for how we've treated it. Because your body is not just a vehicle. It's a declaration. It tells the world what you tolerate, what you demand, and what you believe you're worth. So let's be honest. If your body looks soft, it's because you've lived soft. If you move slowly, it's because your mind has slowed with it. But here's the truth. A resilient body breeds a powerful mind. And from this moment on, you don't move the same way anymore. You don't eat the same way. You don't treat yourself the same. Because now, you are training for battle. A battle against weakness, against stagnation, against every moment where you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. The ancient Stoics knew this well. They didn't train their bodies for vanity. They did it to sharpen their will. Seneca fasted and exposed himself to the cold, not to suffer, but to remind his mind that comfort is not a necessity. That true strength is born from discipline, not convenience. And you are now embracing the same principle. This is your call to rebuild your physical self, not just for appearance, but for the internal fire it ignites. You will train not because you want to look good in the mirror, but because every drop of sweat is a statement, a declaration that you will no longer live in reaction. You will live in power, purpose, precision. Start by commanding your body. Wake it up, move it, stretch it, push it, show your muscles what discipline feels like. And if you're older, it's not an excuse, it's a greater reason. You walk, you stretch, you breathe deeply every day. Because the body doesn't age because of time, it ages from neglect. Whether you're 25 or 75, motion is medicine. And the moment you reclaim your movement, you reclaim your power. Discipline in the body fuels discipline in the mind. You don't have to run marathons. You don't have to be in a gym for hours. But you must move, daily, intentionally, intensely, because motion resets the mind. It gives you clarity. It releases the stress, the fog, the noise, and every representative you push. Every step you take, you're telling yourself, I'm worth the effort. I'm worth the energy. I'm not here to fade quietly. I'm here to rise. But your training doesn't stop with movement. It continues with what you put into your body. You must fuel your machine like it's built for war. No more sugar binges. No more processed garbage. No more numbing your feelings with food. From now on, every meal is a vote for your future. Eat clean. Eat with intention. Eat like someone who values their life. Drink water, not occasionally, but religiously. Hydration isn't optional. It sharpens your brain, your focus, your decisions. Your energy tomorrow depends on what you consume today. So treat your body with the reverence it deserves. Remove anything that clouds your clarity. The alcohol, the fast food, the endless cups of caffeine masking fatigue you should be solving with sleep and movement. You are done masking your weaknesses. Now, you face them and build strength instead. You build rituals, powerful, consistent rituals that you follow whether you feel motivated or not. You take cold showers, not for punishment, but to master your nervous system. You train your breath. You take control of your senses. Because every controlled breath under stress is a rehearsal for real-life pressure. And yes, it's uncomfortable. That's the point. Voluntary discomfort is the gateway to involuntary strength. The more you embrace it, the less life can shake you. This is not about vanity. This is about power. And you don't earn that power with half effort. You earn it through discipline repeated daily, especially when no one is watching. So today, You do something different. You fix your posture. You move like someone who owns the space they walk into. You walk taller. You speak clearer. You stop hiding inside a shell you outgrew long ago. You become intentional in everything, from how you dress to how you stretch to how you eat. Your identity is now tied to strength, clarity, and mastery, because if you want the world to respect you, start by respecting yourself first. And tomorrow, when you wake up, you do it again, not because it's easy, but because you've finally realized it's necessary. This is your temple. This is your armor. And from now on, you protect it, sharpen it, and move through life like someone who knows they're becoming unstoppable. This is day 2. The body follows the mind. But sometimes, when the mind is weak, the body leads first. So build it, strengthen it, and let your new self emerge, not just in the mirror, but in how you carry yourself into every room you walk into. Your body can take you far, but your mind, it decides where you're going. It is the architect of your future, the gatekeeper of your potential, and the filter that colors every experience you have. Day 3 is about upgrading that mind, not just adjusting your thinking, but completely reprogramming how you see yourself and the world around you. Because the truth is, your life doesn't change until your mindset does. You don't rise by luck. You rise because you rewrote the internal script that was holding you back. And today, that rewrite begins. Every thought, every belief, every knee-jerk reaction you've had up until now, these weren't just random. They were programs, running silently, guiding your behavior. Some were useful, most weren't. And if you want to become someone new, you can't just change your habits, you have to change the code. So let's begin by asking, why do you believe what you believe? Who told you that you weren't enough? That you needed more time, more permission, more validation before you could start? Most of those thoughts, they weren't even yours to begin with. You absorbed them from parents, teachers, friends, society, and now, you carry them like scars that never fully healed. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just a motivational quote, it's a call to reclaim your power. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. If something happens to you, you still get to choose how you interpret it, how you react to it, and what story you tell yourself about it. That's the beginning of true strength. And it begins with awareness. Watch your inner voice closely. Do you speak to yourself like someone you respect, or like someone you've already given up on? Language matters. Words shape your identity. So from now on, there's no more, "I can't." No more, "I don't know." No more, "maybe someday." Those phrases are chains. Replace them with, "I will." "I'm learning." "I'm building." This shift might seem small, but it changes everything. Because when your words change, your actions follow. And when your actions change, your life transforms. But upgrading your mind isn't just about eliminating negative thoughts. It's about training new ones. It's about choosing to see setbacks as training, to see discomfort as fuel, to look at a problem and say, not, "Why me?" but "Why not me?" Why not be the one who breaks the cycle? Why not be the one who becomes unshakable? That's what a Stoic does. They take responsibility for everything within their control, and they let go of what's not. And what's in your control? Your thoughts, your focus, your attention, your response. Nothing more. You can't control the weather. You can't control people's opinions. But you can always control what you feed your mind. So stop feeding it junk. Stop doom scrolling. Stop watching content that makes you feel smaller. Stop listening to voices that thrive on fear and distraction. Instead, fuel your mind like you fuel your body, with intention, with nourishment, with wisdom. Read books that challenge you. Listen to ideas that stretch you. Surround yourself with people who speak to your higher self, not your lower one. Journal, reflect, track your growth. Your mind is not a fixed thing. It's a garden, and every day, you choose whether to water weeds or wildflowers. So plant with purpose, and practice what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Expect hardship. Plan for it, not because you're negative, but because you want to be ready. If you expect everything to go smoothly, you'll be shattered when life throws you off course. But if you train your mind for storms, you'll walk through them with clarity. No panic, no drama, just presence. Another tool? Memento mori. Remember that you will die. That life is short. That every moment wasted in fear or indecision is a moment you'll never get back. That's not morbid. That's empowering. It reminds you that the time to become who you're meant to be isn't later. It's now. So here's what you do today. Sit with your thoughts. Ask which ones serve you and which ones sabotage you. Rewrite them. Speak them out loud. Visualize yourself as the person you're becoming. Not once. Every single day. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality, so use that. Program your brain with the future you want until it feels like the only option. And most importantly, act as if you're already that person. Because when you walk, speak, and think like them, you become them. Not eventually, now. This is day 3, and this is where the real power begins. Because the body is strong, but the mind decides whether you rise or fall. So choose wisely, think boldly, and never let small thoughts decide the size of your life. You've begun the internal work. You've started reshaping your body. You've begun reprogramming your mind. But here's something people often forget: how you show up in the world matters. You could be powerful on the inside, but if your energy doesn't translate to presence, the world won't feel it. So today, day 4, is about presence. About the energy you carry, the space you claim, and the way people respond when you walk into a room. Because people don't just respond to your words, they respond to your energy. Your posture, your tone, your silence, and in many cases, long before you speak, you've already been heard. Let's be brutally honest, if people see you the same way they always have, they'll treat you the same way they always did. That's just how the world works. So if you want to be seen differently, you must first be different. You can't walk the same, speak the same, hesitate the same, and expect new levels of respect. You have to carry yourself like you've already stepped into your higher self, because presence isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about matching your energy with the version of you that you're becoming, not the one you're leaving behind. Presence begins before you speak. It starts the moment you enter a room. Do people feel your focus? Do they sense that you are grounded, unshaken, deeply intentional? Or do you shrink, blend in, apologize for your existence with slouched shoulders and unsure words? Because posture speaks, eye contact speaks, even your stillness speaks. And today, you begin mastering those subtle languages. The Stoics knew that presence had nothing to do with status or appearance. It had everything to do with inner mastery. Marcus Aurelius didn't walk into a room with noise. He walked in with gravity, with stillness, with quiet power. Why? Because he had trained himself to be unmoved by praise, by criticism, by chaos. And that kind of presence? It's magnetic. The world leans in to listen when you don't chase attention, but command it with calm. So here's where we start. Fix your body language. Walk tall, shoulders back, chin slightly up, not in pride, but in presence. Move with intention. Sit with purpose. Breathe deeply. Don't rush your gestures. Slow is strong. You don't need to dominate a room to be respected in it. You just need to be centered, confident, grounded. Next, your voice. You don't need to talk louder. You need to talk clearer, more deliberately. The most powerful people don't waste words. They speak with calm certainty. No filler, no over-explaining, just clear, steady, intentional words. Silence, when used wisely, is more commanding than shouting ever could be. Learn to be comfortable in it. Let people feel your presence before they hear your voice. That's real power. And then, your eyes. Practice eye contact, not to intimidate, but to connect. Lock eyes with people as if you see them, as if you're not afraid to be seen yourself. Confidence lives in your gaze. Not the loud, boastful kind, but the quiet kind that says, "I know who I am." That's the kind of presence people remember. But presence is not just how you show up externally, it's how you carry yourself internally. If your inner dialogue is small, doubtful, anxious, it shows. It leaks through your tone, your posture, your energy. So change that dialogue. Begin speaking to yourself like a leader, like someone who belongs. Tell yourself, I walk with strength. I move with clarity. I deserve to be here. Because when you believe that, others will too. Your appearance matters, not because image is everything, but because discipline radiates. When you take care of how you present yourself, you send a message. I respect myself. Groom yourself. Dress like the person you want to become. Not to impress others, but to reinforce your identity. The world sees how you treat yourself, and it mirrors it back. But here's what separates true presence from surface-level charm. It's not about control, it's about connection. Real presence is felt when you listen deeply, when you speak with empathy, when you make others feel seen. The most magnetic people are not the ones who demand attention, but the ones who create it for others. So don't just speak with power. Listen with it. Make people feel safe in your energy. Make them feel important. Be fully present, not distracted, because when you give people your full attention, you become unforgettable. And finally, prepare. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, preparing for discomfort. You can do the same with social situations. Visualize yourself walking into that meeting, that interview, that difficult conversation. Prepare your mindset, plan your breathing, know what you want to say. And when the moment comes, step into it already grounded, already centered, already calm, because presence isn't something you perform. It's something you prepare for. This is day 4, and it is the day you stop shrinking. You stop blending in. You stop apologizing for your existence. You begin standing, walking, speaking, and listening like the person you are becoming. From this day forward, you don't wait to be noticed. You walk like you belong. You speak like your voice matters. And you carry yourself like the world is already watching, not out of ego, but out of respect for the work you've done to get here. And when you do that, when you truly own your presence, people won't just see the change. They'll feel it. By now, you've made powerful internal shifts. You've started reshaping your body, rewiring your mind, and elevating your presence. But none of it will mean anything, none of it, if you don't act. Because greatness is never about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. Day 5 is where we separate the dreamers from the doers, the thinkers from the builders, the ones who plan forever from the ones who move, execute, and become. Most people are stuck in the loop of almost. They almost start, almost change, almost follow through, but they never cross the line into execution. Why? Because execution is scary. It's exposed. It's raw. You can't hide in theory when you act. You can't pretend when your hands are in the dirt, building something real. But that's exactly why execution is everything. Your life doesn't change because you have great ideas. It changes because you had the courage to bring them to life. And that courage starts now. Forget perfection. Forget waiting for clarity. Forget the illusion that the perfect time is just around the corner. It's not. The perfect moment doesn't exist. It never has. What exists is this moment. And what you do with it defines everything. The Stoics knew this. They didn't wait. Marcus Aurelius didn't write about what a great man should be. He said, be one. That's the difference. Stop talking about the life you want and start living like you're already responsible for it. Execution is messy. It's uncertain. It's filled with risk. But so is staying still. So is regret. So is watching another year pass while you remain the same. So today, you take the first real step. Not a draft. Not a maybe. A real action. Something that moves the needle. Something that makes your hands shake because you know it matters. Send the email. Launch the page. Have the conversation. Make the decision. Start the thing you've been putting off. Stop building castles in your head. Build them with your hands. Even if it's shaky. Even if you fail. Because failure in action teaches. Failure in hesitation only haunts. The Stoics taught us to act with discipline and clarity. Not impulsively. Not emotionally, but decisively. Relentless execution means waking up every day and deciding, no matter what, that you will move forward. That you will produce, deliver, take one more step, even when it's boring, even when it's uncomfortable, especially then, because that's what builds the muscle. That's what creates momentum. That's how you become unstoppable, not all at once, but piece by piece, with consistency that compounds into power. If you struggle with execution, build systems. Don't rely on motivation. It's too fickle. Use structure. Set deadlines. Create accountability. Make your environment support your action, not stall it. Shut off distractions. Batch your work. Eliminate decisions that don't matter. Save your energy for what moves your mission forward. Because when you design your life around execution, action becomes your default. Also, prepare for failure. Expect it. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum for this reason, to anticipate difficulty and meet it with calm. If something doesn't work, you adjust. You don't stop. You don't internalize it. You pivot. You learn. And then you move again. Most people quit at the first wall. The great ones see the wall and say, "Perfect. This is where I train." And let's be real, execution is not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's repetitive, unseen, but that's where champions are born. In the repetition, in the early mornings and late nights, in the hundreds of tiny steps that no one claps for. Because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it to become. You're doing it because the person you're building won't emerge from comfort. They will only emerge from commitment. So today, identify one goal, just one, something that matters, and act. No delay, no draft version, no perfect plan, just raw, real movement. Prove to yourself that you can follow through. And then, do it again tomorrow, and the next day, until action isn't something you have to force, it's who you are. That's relentless execution. This is day 5, and it's the day you stop waiting. Stop circling. Stop planning endlessly. Today, you choose the harder road, the bolder one, the one where you act. Adapt, and rise. You don't wait for certainty. You create it through movement. And every step you take, no matter how small, is one more step away from who you were. And one step closer to the life that's waiting for you. You've started moving. You've begun executing. You've taken real steps. And the energy of progress is building. But now, it's time to make sure that progress doesn't rely on mood, or motivation, or random bursts of effort. Because without structure, even the most passionate fire eventually burns out. That's why day 6 is about something most people ignore. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's the true secret to long-term greatness: systems. Motivation is a spark, it gets you started. But systems are the engine, they keep you going. Most people chase inspiration. They wait for the perfect morning, the right playlist, the ideal mood to get things done. But what happens when that mood doesn't show up? What happens when life throws curveballs? When you're tired, overwhelmed, distracted? If your success depends on how you feel, you're already on shaky ground. But when you build a system, you build a life that keeps moving, no matter what. A system is simply a structure that makes your highest choices automatic. It eliminates the need to debate every decision. It turns discipline into a default setting. You no longer ask yourself, "Should I go to the gym today?" You just go. Why? Because that's what the system says. Because that's what the new version of you does. Systems take the mental friction out of growth. They conserve your willpower so you can apply it where it matters most. The Stoics were masters of systems. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily, not when he felt like it, but because it was part of his framework. Seneca practiced reflection, fasting, discomfort, not randomly, but with rhythm. They weren't improvising their way through life. They had methods, rituals, anchors that kept them steady when the world got chaotic. That's what you need now. Not more ideas, more structure. So here's where you begin. First, identify the core habits that support your evolution. These are the non-negotiables. Moving your body, fueling it properly, feeding your mind, eliminating distractions, journaling your thoughts, reflecting on your actions. Set time for these habits. Put them in your calendar. Treat them like sacred appointments, because they are. They're not just tasks. They're the bricks of your transformation. Next, batch your tasks. Minimize decision fatigue. Don't spend half your day deciding what to do. Decide once. Group your work. Automate where you can. Keep your space clean, your schedule clear, and your routines simple. Because simplicity fuels consistency, and consistency fuels mastery. But here's the deeper truth about systems: when done right, they become identity. You stop having to push yourself. Because the system pulls you. It becomes who you are. The kind of person who wakes up early, who plans their day, who tracks progress, who moves regardless of mood. And once that identity is locked in, momentum becomes inevitable. Now let's talk about environment. Because no system exists in a vacuum. If your space is chaotic, if your phone is a portal to distraction, if your friends pull you away from discipline, you need to redesign. Success is not just about what you do. It's about what you allow around you. Remove temptation, set boundaries, shape your surroundings so they reinforce your goals. Because if your environment pulls you backward, no amount of willpower will save you. Also, build in review. Every week, sit down, reflect. What worked? What didn't? What needs adjusting? That's how you refine. That's how you make your system better. It's not about rigid routines, it's about flexible structure. A system that evolves as you evolve, that adapts with your growth. And if you fail, and you will, that's not a flaw in the system. That's part of it. That's feedback. Use it, adjust, keep moving. Because a good system doesn't expect perfection. It expects you to show up, to try, to learn, to improve, and that's all you need. Most people burn out not because they worked too hard, but because they worked without rhythm. Without structure, without support, they sprint until they collapse, instead of building sustainable momentum. But you're not sprinting. You're building a life, a lifestyle, a blueprint for unstoppable progress. And it starts with the system you commit to today. So take action now. Write out your non-negotiables. Design your daily schedule. Protect your time. Batch your focus. Simplify your environment. And commit, not to being perfect, but to being consistent. Because from this day forward, your growth will not depend on your emotions. It will depend on your framework. And when you build a strong system, progress becomes automatic. This is day 6. And it is the day you stop relying on willpower. You stop chasing highs. You stop improvising your future. Today, you build the machine that builds you. And when the system is in place, everything changes, not just for a week, not just for a month, but for the rest of your life. It's day 7. You've torn down the old self. You've rebuilt your habits. You've reshaped your body, rewired your mind, redefined your presence. And now it's time to answer the most important question of all. Will this transformation last? Because change isn't just about momentum. It's about identity. Anyone can sprint for a few days. Anyone can be motivated for a week. But the ones who truly change, the ones who never go back, they do something different. They become different, and that's what day 7 is about. Not just finishing strong, but locking in your new identity so deeply, so deliberately, that it becomes the foundation of everything that follows. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. But the mind loves the familiar. Even if the familiar was pain. It craves old patterns. It calls you back into comfort the moment things get quiet. So today, you make a decision that echoes beyond this week. You decide who you are now, and you refuse to negotiate with the past. Let's be real. The old you is not gone forever. It lurks, it waits, it whispers, but now, you know how to respond. You've seen what discipline feels like. You've felt the power of execution. You've tasted the clarity that comes from systems and structure. That version of you is no longer an idea. It's real, and every decision from here forward is a vote for that new version, or a slide back into the old one. There is no neutral. Every action either reinforces your future or reactivates your past. So today, take ownership, not just of what you do, but of who you are. Declare it, define it, write it down, Speak it aloud. This is your new identity, not borrowed, not copied, but forged through action, through sweat, through discomfort, through choice. Visualize it. Who are you a month from now? A year from now? What does your life look like if you keep showing up like this? What kind of energy surrounds you? What kind of people do you attract? What kind of boundaries do you hold? What do you no longer tolerate? Paint it clearly. Then match your behavior to that vision every single day. Refine your systems. Simplify your routines. Protect your environment. Say no to the distractions that once owned you. Surround yourself only with those who mirror your standards, who pull you forward, not drag you back. And if someone reminds you of your old self too often, love them from a distance. This journey requires strength, and sometimes that means outgrowing your past connections. But above all, remember that transformation is not something you achieve once and forget. It's something you nurture, guard, practice, not with pressure, but with reverence, with presence, with pride. This isn't a phase. This is who you are now. And when life tests you, and it will, you won't need to panic. You'll return to your practices, your system, your silence. You'll breathe. You'll remember that discomfort isn't a threat, it's a mirror. A mirror that asks, are you still the person you chose to become? And you'll answer, yes. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. This is your identity now. It's in how you wake up, how you walk, how you speak, how you think. It's in your posture, your tone, your calendar, your food, your focus. You've earned this version of yourself, and you won't let it go. So take a moment today to reflect. Look back at this week, not with nostalgia, but with clarity. What changed you? What challenged you? What woke something up inside you that you forgot was there? Capture it, write it down, let it sink into your bones. And know this, what you've done in 7 days, most never attempt in a lifetime. You've proven to yourself that transformation doesn't take years. It takes commitment, clarity, courage, and now that you know what's possible in a week, just imagine what's possible in a year. In 5, in a lifetime. You are not going back. Not ever. You're not available for mediocrity. You're not available for excuses. You're not available for the version of you that only shows up when it's easy. You are available for greatness, for growth, for grit, for truth, for impact. You've walked through the fire and come out shaped, sharpened, and ready. The only thing left is to live it, embody it, and when the noise comes, and the world tries to pull you back, smile. Because you'll know something they don't. You've built something unshakable, and that's not something anyone can take from you. This is day 7, but more importantly, this is day 1 of the rest of your life. You've done the work, you've walked the path, and now, you own the identity. Carry it well, carry it humbly, and never forget, the real power was always inside you. You just needed a reason to wake it up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing growth, for choosing yourself. If this week changed something in you, even just a little, then let it continue. Don't let it fade. Let it multiply. Let it deepen. Let it lead others. And if this voice helped guide you, I invite you, gently, sincerely, to subscribe to Mindset Fuel Hub for more. Not for noise, but for continued clarity, discipline, and strength. We grow together. We rise together. Here's to your new identity. Here's to your future. And here's to the power of becoming truly unrecognizable.